Political analyst. We're looking at the political events since yesterday, today. And something interesting happened today. IEBC has overhauled the matter in which the election results are announced and will not be issuing regular updates on results streaming in at the National Tallying Center, as was the case in previous elections. Let's listen in to Wafula Chebukati, Ezra Chiloba actually. Then we'll have a conversation in studio about it as well.
We do not anticipate that we'll be standing here at the National Tallying Center to be announcing results for every constituency. We're interested in the final result. If you read the Court of Appeal decision, the understanding we have is that we don't have to spend a lot of time doing the announcement. What we need to do is to collect all the results as presented to us by the returning officers to allow us now to announce the final result.
So the IEBC will not be issuing regular updates on results streaming in at the National Tallying Center, as was the case in previous elections. Alex, what are your thoughts?
I haven't had the full script. I wish I had had it. But for me, I think these regular updates are important so long as the results or the figures announced are accurate and in conformity with the requirements in the Constitution. Yes. Yes. I would rather, as a voter, I would rather that I know how many votes we got from Nyeri, from Kirinyaga, from Kisumu. Those updates are important. But maybe, we can't micromanage. This has been my argument in this studio all along for the last, I don't know how many months. Let us not micromanage IEBC. So if, in their own estimation, that is the best thing to do, granted the court orders, rulings, and judgments, then let them be.
That presents a scenario where you have an election,
yes,
and then the only announcement you will get at the National Tallying Center will be the final one.
Yes.
This person has won, this person has lost. What are your thoughts,
Linda, I am rarely wrong in my analysis in your studios.
Okay.
From William Ruto's Twitter,
your own estimation.
From William Ruto's Twitter, I had told you he will not attend the debate. He did not attend.
Kavis, you're going back to the debate again?
No, just wait.
Okay.
See, I'm giving you the history of my analysis.
The issue.
Analysis.
Okay.
Yes. From President Uhuru Kenyatta's making his own debate, where he asks himself questions and answers.
Disrespect your president.
I had told you he was not going to attend the debate.
Yeah.
When President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto stood in Cabernet and pointed fingers at IEBC and the judiciary, I told you from now on, all cases at the judiciary that are not in favor of Jubilee will be ruled in favor of Jubilee. 3 of them have come. Today, I am telling you here as we sit. The next thing you will be told, the media must not cover the parallel tallying by the political parties. That is the next thing you'll be told. Because Jubilee wants this thing to be as opaque as possible, wake up, declare themselves the winner, and go and swear themselves at night like has been done in this country before.
Whether?
We want transparency in this election.
You don't think there's transparency in this election?
When you start saying we will not have running totals, what does that mean?
That is IEBC,
let me tell you,
that is
I had said
not
here
Jubilee. Well,
that Jubilee always gives IEBC the cue. In fact, I don't know if they call them at night or whatever time, but the noise they make in rallies are the same ones.
Can you allow me to say something?
Yes, learned friend.
I've listened to Chiloba.
Yes.
Briefly. What he's saying is that they will be announcing the final results from the constituencies. In other words, they'll not be saying so far this has been counted, they wait for the MP who has won, then they say so-and-so has won in semi-constituency. Then they wait for the total count for the presidential votes, and then they say semi-constituency, where that comes from. Uhuru has 2,000, Raila has 40,000. Then they put to their tallying center.
My interpretation is wrong.
This thing is not for interpretation. I think the mistake that Chiloba did was that he said it in a speech. A matter which should have been a policy issue that you call a press conference written and you say, on the announcement of the results, this is what we're going to do, 1, 2, 3, so that it is very clear. But according to the law, the counting will have to be done in the constituency. and the national office is only obliged to go by the final tally. So what he's saying is legally right. It may look opaque, but that is the import of the decision that was made, that is the final center. And I said that even if from Seme constituency, it turns out that Honorable Raila Odinga gets 30,000 and Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta gets 40,000, and yet the registered voters are 35. According to that decision, which was held by NASA, you will only wait. You take that result and wait until you go to the Supreme Court. You get it? Before, Chiloba and IEBC and Chebukati could have said, Bwana, don't give us 70,000 when the only registered voters are 30. But these people, they didn't see through it. Even in 2007, the inflation of whatever in Nithi or whatever is what would be the result today if somebody was to mess around with them. So when you are talking and everything you do is Jubilee, Jubilee, you have already given up. So whenever anybody coughs, you say Jubilee is rigged.
I think there's something I saw on Twitter, and this may attract your attention. I think I read IBC stating categorically that if there is any ambivalence between the total number of voters who turn out at the polling station and the number of physical ballot papers total, then they are not going to announce.
That was actually said by Roslyn Akombe, one of the commissioners.
Yes. And for me, that as a voter, I was very impressed by that.
No, because that is in law.
Yes,
they didn't even have to say.
Because you see, and I'm trying to build up the case where the IBC is coming from, and I'm trying also to understand what they meant by what you said, and that part you script there. I think what IBC is preparing the nation for is this.
What?
Please, as the IEBC, we are not going to be part and parcel of fraud and falsified figures, even if they come from constituency level or even if they come from the police station level. And when they are saying that they are only going to announce the final results from the constituency level, if I may have to agree with Mr. Weda, my senior, that it would mean IEBC is not going to be part and parcel of the police station results that may have a problem. I agree with them, so that the accountability will be on the part of the RO, the returning officer. Make sure, before even we announce at the tallying station center,
we clearly need to get Chiloba in studio, and so that he talks about this step by step, because you're all interpreting this.
It is taking Alex Gatundu too long to find out where IEBC is coming from, because he's looking for something favorable to his school of thought. To Jubilee, sorry. And
I forgive you, even before you finish what you are saying.
Okay, let us go on here. Yeah. What is happening here, my dear sister? Ambrose Weda is always misleading people. He twists two words from what was said. I listened to Chiloba live. He said they are no longer going to have those running totals that you have used to, that President Uhuru Kenyatta is now at 2.46 million and Raila Odinga is now somewhere there. So what is going to happen? They want to keep the results transmission as opaque as is possible.
Okay,
I have told you here,
this is me.
Now, the next thing they will read for you is that the media will not be allowed to cover these parallel results by political parties.
Okay, so this is me probably giving my word that we'll try and see if we can get Ezra Chiloba on one of these days, then maybe he can expound on it to help Kenyans understand, because all of us have a different interpretation of
that. That would be kind of you.
That would be nice, right?
That would be nice.
Okay, so let's wrap that up. So there's something else that that came up in the presidential debate, and Raila Odinga was actually asked about the parallel tallying center. There have been allegations that NASA has a proposed as a parallel tallying infrastructure in neighboring Tanzania. Of course, we have heard from Tanzanian officials refuting those particular allegations. So I'd like to listen to the presidential debate. Prime Minister, excuse me, I'd like to listen to the presidential debate and NASA's flag flag bearer Raila Odinga, talking about those allegations and his perception on whether or not NASA has a parallel tallying infrastructure in Tanzania.
Siasa ya Tanzania kuwa na marafiki wote, sio tu marafiki wa kiserikali, lakini pia marafiki na kutambua vyama mbalimbali vya siasa. Na sisi Tanzania hatujawahi, hatuthubutu na hatutathubutu kuingilia siasa za nchi nyingine, na hasa nchi jirani na rafiki kama Kenya.
Okay, so there is an official from Tanzania refuting those particular allegations. But I remember Raila Odinga, when he was asked that particular question at the presidential debate, he said, but what is the problem with NASA having a parallel tallying center unless, of course, there's some mischief in the tallying of votes? What are your thoughts?
I've always said that it is good for any candidate, whether fringe or big, to have a tallying center.
Okay.
Where they tally, as long as they'll tally the correct results. They'll have genuine results, then they tally together. But when you now take internal political issues to another country, then you are causing diplomatic issues.
Is this certain that NASA
Now, I'll come to that.
Okay.
So when they're talking about Tanzania or Germany or wherever, then they're actually trying to cause us to go at loggerheads with foreign countries, and the fragile East African community can have problems just because Jacom is posturing here and there with the tallying center. He is free to put it even on top of I&M building or in Bondo, or we can host him for him in Seme, where I come from. That is one. But so it is good to have it, but having it in another country, it would not be good. But looking at the body language of Jacom, seeing his close people, even on social media. So one fellow, I was in the Monday, I was here with somebody who said they have another tallying center in Germany. Now Jacom himself came with cloud. Then they say Tanzania. Then they say Kenya, Kenya, Kenya. I think we are not going to take it for granted, but I think it's a hoax. But Jacom just wants to create an impression that I have a center. Then they'll cook up figures for which they'll use to declare themselves president, even if it is fake. But otherwise, when I look at the posturing, there's nothing.
Why does Jubilee wants the NASA tallying center to be within their reach? Why? Because all sensitive databases, including the ones for banks, the one for Safaricom, are all held outside the country. And that is what we call the cloud. Don't think there's something up there in the cloud. There's nothing like that. There's nothing in the cloud. Cloud is simply a technical term for saying we are having the database without reach of the local interferences. So why Jubilee is so interested in where NASA is having their tallying center, I don't understand. In fact, attacking the Tanzanian government for hosting this thing is just hogwash, because they can hold it there without even the Tanzania government knowing.
Kavis, did anyone attack the Tanzanian government?
They have said it. You have said it here now. Okay. In fact, why did the ambassador have to come and say what he was saying? Because it's been in the air all the time.
Okay. Can you just allow me to explain?
In fact, NASA can have it there without anybody knowing, including the very Tanzania government. It's simply a database holding a computer.
Now,
Alex, just allow me to explain I'll add you 2 minutes.
Just allow me to explain
These guys are taking too much of the sharing. They are leaving me the clubs.
Okay, I'm giving you.
This is sibling rivalry.
Yeah.
Just allow me to explain this.
Please.
This thing that my brother, out of lack of knowledge, thinks cloud is just in the air.
No, I have explained it is not in the air. Don't put words into my mouth. You are one thing that...
Okay, you guys are eating into Alex's time.
Cloud is owned by people.
Yes,
of
course.
Paid for.
Of course, I know.
Okay? And you have no control over them.
And let me tell you, while you are studying law, I was studying computer science.
Please, and you didn't do it well. That's why you are making us believe.
I want to bring you down so that you know you don't know so much.
We said we are learned and we will speak when we asked to. Alex.
I want to correct Mr. Awidi for, I don't know, up in time. Safaricom no longer hosts its database In Germany, it is now in Kenya. They moved it to Kenya.
I like that information.
I want to inform you.
I would like that
information.
Yes,
it's now in Kenya.
Okay.
And secondly, for me, it is a security issue. That is not, I disagree with Mr. Wenda. It does not downplay this issue. The issue of announcement of results, declaration of presidential results especially, is a very sensitive security issue. It is not something that you want to joke around with the way Weda is doing and the way Mr. Widi is doing. The moment you establish a tallying center, or what you can call a command center, that is okay. In fact, TNA had it. No, TNA had it in 2013. That's okay. That's okay. But, and I have written it in our local dailies. Okay. But the problem I have is when you go to the extent of announcing falsified, fraudulent, conflicting results.
Did you get a feeling that
we have yet to announce them.
Yes, by the way, it is it is in the print media. It is also in the YouTube.
That
NASA clearly said that they are going to announce results if they have any problem with the results announced by IEBC. It is there in the YouTube. It is there in the newspapers. In fact, you only need to go and Google for the newspaper. You only need to go to the YouTube for the video.
Who specifically?
Yes.
No, I think we have to distinguish between announcing and declaring.
And let me finish. Let me finish. You have given me crabs. Let me at least swallow them. Now, when it comes to announcement or declaration of results, that is supposed to be confined to IEBC.
Correct.
IEBC is not supposed to say that Uhuru got 20,000 from Nyeri. It is not upon the political parties or even candidates to announce who has won there. It is the IEBC is supposed to say, you won this. The moment you say that this, you got, for example, NASA says that in Bondo we got 40,000 for rider. IEBC 3 seconds before or 3 seconds after announced 30,000. So there is a disparity maybe of 10,000. You have a problem with it. You know why? In Bondo and the whole country, NASA supporters know very well that Raila got 40,000.
Okay.
But IEBC knows Raila got 30,000. Now you have a constitutional crisis.
Okay,
no, there will be documents of original entry for each party to show. Okay, I'm sorry, madam.
I need to wrap this up.
Yes.
People, this has been the state of the race. We'll be looking at the presidential debate, President Uhuru not showing up, among other issues. But it's important, again, at this juncture, to clarify, because there's so much propaganda doing rounds, especially on social media. Debates Media Limited, the outfit that organized the presidential debate, is owned by media houses, not individuals. And I'm going to get documents to give to Weda so that Weda can know that.
You have to. You have to get suspicious. The moment you start trying to defend yourself on that.
Alex, be nice to me. Okay. People, you have been watching State of the Race. Thank you so much. Alex Gatundu, always such a pleasure hosting you, Kevin Sowedi, and of course, Ambrose Weda. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Let's do this again tomorrow from 10 p.m. to 11. We will focus on the presidential candidates, where they will be, what they will say. Good night. I'm Linda Ogutu.